A very good morning to you and welcome to this week's weather report by Synergy. My name's Jason Bryce. I'm going to talk you through this week's weather and give you an idea of what we expect to see next week too. Of course, there's lots going on. We've just had Glastonbury, quite a thundery and muddy Glastonbury, but improving now certainly. We've got Wimbledon as well this week, so I thought we would have a look at the forecast for the week for Wimbledon. We're starting off just to suggest what's going on. We've got low pressure to the south and the east of us. Again, it's bringing in those northeasterlies. It's week after week I've been talking about these northeasterlies with a little bump or a little ridge of high pressure coming in again from the west. Still got slightly high pressure to the north of us as well, so it seems to be keeping most of the bad weather away from Scotland, and it certainly has. We've had a beautiful weekend here in Scotland, as promised 2 weeks ago on our forecast, but England and Wales of course have had lots of thundery downpours. Well, the high pressure that's building is going to settle everywhere down and actually warm up a little bit as well, as it establishes itself today in the west and more particularly tomorrow, drifting into central areas on Wednesday before some low pressure starts to come down from the northwest, just like last week, probably a bit Thursday and certainly into Friday, unsettling things for the weekend. I'm very optimistic though. The pattern of the jet stream just now is actually quite low, and the unsettled weather that it is going to establish itself this weekend coming will flow right down through the Mediterranean, so affecting Spain, affecting Italy, the Balkans and possibly Greece as well. Now when that clears away and it moves south, that's when I'm optimistic of our big ridge of high pressure from the Azores coming in and really settling things down around about the 12th to the 13th, 14th of July, certainly by the 15th to the 20th we should all be basking in glorious hot sunshine. So you heard it here first, I hope. Let's hope it works out that way. I'm just going to take you through the day-to-day detail now. This is a local area, so we're talking about central Scotland, Ayrshire, southwest Scotland, central Scotland, the Glasgow area. This is the feel like temperature for the next couple of days. It's going to feel more like 25. The temperature at the moment, this morning, is 18 degrees in the shade. So it is certainly going to be about 21 or 22 degrees here today. That's the range of temperatures, but I would suggest that maybe perhaps a little bit warmer than that today and again tomorrow. Something that always puts a bee in my bonnet is that often in weather forecasts they don't actually announce the pollen or the sun index in particular. Pollen levels are very high just now. It's grass pollen that's into season and it's been working up the country, and now it's becoming very high in Scotland as well. The UV index is particularly strong, still being within that week of the midsummer period. We've got our highest UV index, so I'll suggest a 7 today. Some models are saying 6, some models are saying 8, so I'm going to go for 7. And just to give you a little idea of how the sun progresses during the day, it might be cooler in the mornings, although this morning was a bit warmer, but by 10 o'clock the sun index already is about 4, and by 1 o'clock it's about 7. By 2 o'clock in the afternoon it's 6, and by 4 o'clock in the afternoon it's down to 4, and usually around about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock it's down to 1. So it gives you an idea of the time where that you will burn, and if the index is up at 6s and 7s, then 20 minutes of exposure, if you're fair skinned, will result in sunburn. Half an hour if you're of normal skin type, you will be able to, if you've been on holiday, you've got a base tan, or you've been out enjoying this glorious weather, you can obviously put a little bit extra time onto that, but slip slops and what do they call it in Australia, Phil? Slip slop slap, that's the one. Slap. You should have remembered that one. Put sun cream on, definitely. Talking tomorrow and talking Wednesday. Notice I'm suggesting a little bit more cloud coming in on Wednesday. Still a high UV index. Temperature's probably about 20, 21 once again. it's been cool at night, but it's warming up at night time now. So the 5 was more suggestive maybe this morning. You'll see the temperatures will actually become higher at night. The minima will become higher as the week progresses. We've got northeasterlies, and we'll still have a northeasterly probably on Wednesday. But by Thursday, you'll definitely see some brightness in the morning perhaps, but for sure we'll start to see some showers coming in, and all areas I would suggest northwest Scotland, central Scotland, certainly northeast of Scotland as well, just fringing Northern Ireland, and that's just going to come down a little bit further into Northern Ireland and northwest Wales by the time we get into Thursday evening. And by Friday, that frontal system that I'm suggesting will have pushed right down into the country, into the heart of the country and down to the southeast. And because it's going to become a little bit warmer this week, as you can see, even though there's going to be rain about, the temperature will still be about 20 degrees and about 15 degrees perhaps at night time as well. It's going to be humid. It's going to make it feel clammy, and that is a good recipe for thunderstorms down south once again. So it's rather like a repeat of last week. This is a forecast for Wimbledon. The temperature range just now is 15 to 25 degrees. I think you're talking about 21, 22 today, much like Glasgow to be honest with you. I think you're talking about 24 tomorrow, 25 on Wednesday, possibly a 26 on Thursday, before it starts to cool down a little bit. And as you can see, the suggestion there that there could be some storms around. Certainly going to have glorious sunshine in Wimbledon on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, beginning to show some signs of breakdown. Friday, Saturday, final. We'll just have to wait and see. Men's final on Sunday, of course. This area of weather here may delay things proceedings that little bit. Let's hope not, and I hope everyone has a really glorious week. As I say, watch out for from the 12th to the 15th of July, because that's when we expect a real stable area of high pressure to come up from the Azores, settle right down, slap bang on top of us, and as it drifts slowly into the continent, it will bring in some continental air, the southeasterlies behind it, and that's when we see our highest temperatures in the UK. Whatever you're doing today, this is Jason Bryce wishing you a very good week. Thank you.